Listen up, because what I'm about to tell you will flip everything you thought you knew about Formula One. For decades, the sport has slammed the door shut on new teams, especially American ones. But in 2026, that door isn't just being cracked open, it's being kicked down. General Motors, one of the biggest car manufacturers on the planet, just dropped nearly $500 million to bring Cadillac onto the F1 grid. To put that into perspective, Haas only paid around $20 million to join in 2016. By the end of this video, you'll understand how Cadillac went from being told absolutely not to becoming Formula One's newest threat. We'll dive into the masterminds behind the project, the drivers they're chasing, the billions being poured into engines and infrastructure, and why the entire paddock, from Ferrari to Red Bull, is watching nervously. When Andretti first proposed a team with General Motors, Formula One didn't hesitate. They told him straight up, no. The official excuse sounded polite. There's no space for new teams. There's too much risk, there's not enough value. But everyone knew the truth. It wasn't about space. It wasn't about risk. It was about money. Every new team slices the prize pool thinner and thinner, and the giants, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, weren't about to give up millions just to let an outsider in. Behind the scenes, Liberty Media backed the old guard. The message was clear, the grid was closed, Formula One was a private club, and Andretti wasn't on the guest list. This wasn't rejection because they couldn't compete. It was rejection because they weren't wanted. But Andretti and General Motors didn't walk away. They doubled down. If Formula One wanted prestige, they brought in Cadillac, an American name dripping with history and luxury. Suddenly, this wasn't just Andretti begging for a seat at the table. This was one of the world's biggest car makers, demanding entry. That changed everything. Behind the scenes, the lobbying went into overdrive. General Motors didn't just talk about joining, they laid out a vision of factories, jobs, and billions in investment. They weren't selling a race team, they were selling the future of Formula One in America. And here's the thing, the grid could ignore Andretti, but they couldn't ignore Cadillac. Not when the brand carried more financial firepower than half the grid combined. The political tug-of-war raged on. The old guard kept shouting, no. Protect the prize money. Protect the exclusivity. But Cadillac didn't flinch. They didn't back down. They forced the conversation, forced the FIA to act, and eventually, the door that had been bolted shut swung open. Joining Formula One isn't cheap, but Cadillac isn't just dipping their toes in. They're diving headfirst with a price tag close to $500 million. That money isn't going into flashy marketing or hype videos. It's going into steel, carbon fiber, and brains. Brand new facilities across Indiana, Michigan, North Carolina, and the UK. Hundreds of engineers and mechanics being poached from rival teams. A global operation built to match the scale of Formula One itself. Cadillac isn't treating this like a gamble. They're treating it like a war chest. Factories equipped with cutting-edge simulators, wind tunnels designed to squeeze out every fraction of performance, and recruitment that reads like a hit list of F1's best and brightest. This isn't a vanity project. It's not an ego trip. Cadillac is betting billions on one thing: winning. And in Formula One, money doesn't guarantee success. But without it, you don't even stand a chance. Every new team faces the same question: where does the power come from? For Cadillac, the answer, at least for now, is Ferrari. A safe, proven option. Plug in a championship-winning engine and focus on building the rest of the team. But that's not the endgame, because by 2028, Cadillac wants to drop the Ferrari badge and unleash their own Formula One power unit. This is where it gets risky. The 2026 engine regulations are a reset button. Lighter fuel loads, more electrical power, brand new hybrid systems. For Cadillac, it's the perfect chance to jump in while everyone else is adapting. Why? Because these regulations level the playing field. Even giants like Mercedes and Red Bull are stepping into unknown territory. Cadillac doesn't have to catch up to years of dominance. They just need to get the new formula right, quicker than their rivals. Of course, that's easier said than done. Building an F1 engine takes billions of dollars, endless testing, and the kind of precision that only a handful of companies on Earth have mastered. If Cadillac nails it, they'll go from outsiders to genuine manufacturers. If they fail, they'll be stuck as just another team losing money. and not winning championships. And it's not just about horsepower, it's about pride. Because if Cadillac builds their own engine, they won't just be racing for points. They'll be racing for America. Throughout most of history, Formula One has been a European sport. Now, America can't get enough. 3 US races, Miami, Austin, Las Vegas, sold-out grandstands, celebrities on the grid, and Netflix's Drive to Survive turning casual fans into diehards. In just 5 years, America has gone from ignoring F1 to becoming its biggest growth market. And that's where Cadillac fits perfectly. For decades, Formula One has failed to truly crack the US. Haas tried to brand themselves as America's team, but with no wins and no identity, it never stuck. Cadillac is different. They bring heritage, muscle, and the financial backing of one of the largest car makers on the planet. And it's not just about racing, it's about image. Cadillac represents American pride on the global stage. When their cars roll onto the grid in 2026, it won't just be 2 entries on the timesheet. It'll be a statement that the US has finally built a team worthy of its booming fan base. Sponsors know it too. Big American corporations that Drive to Survive helped convert into F1 believers are lining up to be associated with the first true US powerhouse. This isn't just sport, it's marketing gold. Cadillac isn't just joining Formula One, they're carrying the weight of a country that's fallen in love with the show and now wants to see its own flag flying at the front of the grid. A Formula One team is only as good as the names behind the wheel, and Cadillac knows that if they want fans, especially American fans, they need the right drivers. At the top of the list, Colton Herta. The Californian IndyCar star has long been touted as America's best hope for Formula One. Andretti has wanted him for years, and now, with Cadillac's backing, the dream is alive again. There's only one problem: the superlicense points. FIA politics have kept him out before, and it may take serious lobbying to finally break that wall down. But Cadillac won't stop there. They've got the money to lure experienced names too. Veterans like Valtteri Bottas or Sergio Perez could offer instant credibility. Proven race winners who can guide a new team through the chaos of its first seasons. And then there's the next generation, young guns like Felipe Drugovich, Frederic Vesti, or even Mercedes protégé Andrea Kimi Antonelli might be in the mix. Cadillac's leadership has already said they don't want divas. They want team-first drivers who buy into the project, not just chase personal glory. The idea of an American star paired with a seasoned European veteran, that's the recipe. It gives the fans someone to cheer for at home, and the team someone to lean on when things get tough. Cadillac isn't just picking drivers, they're crafting an image. And in a sport where personalities matter almost as much as lap times, that choice could define how the world sees this team. Not everyone is thrilled about Cadillac crashing the F1 party. In fact, some of the sport's biggest names, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, fought hard to keep them out. Why? Because every new team means one thing: the prize money gets sliced thinner. And in Formula One, money is power. The existing giants don't want their empires diluted by a newcomer with deep pockets. But it's more than money. Cadillac represents disruption. A true outsider coming into a sport that's been run like a closed shop for decades. Behind the scenes, the political battles have been brutal. The FIA pushed for Cadillac's entry, while Liberty Media and several teams dug in their heels. It turned into a cold war of lobbying, statements, and backroom deals. Cadillac's persistence and their billions finally forced the door open. And make no mistake, this fight isn't over. Every time Cadillac makes progress, expect pushback. Expect whispers in the paddock, resistance on the rule-making side, and rivals waiting for them to stumble. On one hand, the upside is massive. Cadillac brings money, jobs, global prestige, and millions of new fans, especially from the US, where Formula One is exploding like never before. Sponsors are circling, broadcasters are invested, and suddenly the sport has another powerful brand to fuel its future. But there's a darker side too. If Cadillac stumbles, if they end up like HRT or Caterham, just another backmarker limping at the rear, the critics will be proven right. They'll say it was all hype, that you can't buy success in Formula One, and the door will slam shut again, maybe for decades. But if Cadillac gets it right, if they turn those billions into real pace, real results, it could change everything. It could prove that Formula One's walls can be broken down, that fresh blood can shake up the order, and that the old guard's stranglehold isn't unbreakable. That's why 2026 isn't just another season. It's a crossroads for the sport, because when Cadillac's cars line up on the grid, it won't just be about points and podiums. It will be about whether Formula One is truly ready to evolve, or if it will cling to its past. Cadillac's entry isn't just about racing, it's about breaking down the walls of Formula One's exclusivity. For decades, this sport has belonged to a closed circle of teams. Now, one of the biggest manufacturers in the world is forcing its way in. 2026 won't just welcome a new car on the grid, it will welcome a revolution. And when the lights go out, we'll see if Cadillac is just another newcomer, or the team that changes Formula One forever. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed for more Formula One videos.